hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to season 3. Yes.
We are here. We are here for season 3. Thank you all so much for joining. Everybody is here and on time, and we are ready to get started. Welcome to the chats, where the conversations here are unfiltered, unscripted, and uncut. All right. And as you all know, we are back for season 3 with 2 of our new co-hosts. I would like to introduce them to you. We have Shantelle and we have Amir. Hey, you guys, welcome to the chat. How are you all doing?
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, and I'm doing well. I'm excited to get this going.
Yeah.
So, what have you guys been up to since our last? Since the announcement that you all won, tell me a little bit about how you all felt about that, being picked to be the co-host for the chat, and just what you all have been up to since then and preparing to be here.
Well, okay. Go ahead, Amir. Got it.
Oh, yeah, I could start. I was really excited. I honestly, at a whim, applied, and I did not, I wasn't sure what to expect. But as soon as I joined in, I was really excited. And what's been going on with me, however, is I have a 4-month-old. So that's all I've been doing, quarantining and staying with my 4-month-old daughter. Her name is Eva, and she'll be 4 months tomorrow.
Oh, wow. What about you, Shantelle?
Well, congratulations, Amir, on the newborn. And somebody referred me. They thought that I would be a great addition and that it fit my zhuzh. So I was super excited. I thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm a nurse, so clearly I've been busy with coronavirus, but also just pushing through with some modeling activities and some things with my nonprofit, trying to stay busy and stay COVID free.
All right. Amazing. Again, thank you all so much. I'm glad that you up on the offer of being our co-host, and we are extremely excited that you all are here with us. So, Will, what has been up with you?
I have been doing, I've been really busy. So 2021, I have destined, this is going to be the year that I either do it or I just sit my ass down. Because 2020, I was, I kind of got frustrated with COVID and you couldn't do anything. Everything I wanted to do, I couldn't do because, the world was shut down. So I was kind of lazy. From August through the end of the year, I was really lazy. Everything that I had on my to-do list or my resolution list for 2020, I kind of put on the back burner. So 2021, I'm going hard. Things are really busy. I've stepped outside of my comfort zone. I'm doing videos. I'm doing a lot more marketing. I'm doing the things that I told myself I was afraid to do. So I'm excited about 2021. This is going to be my year. What about you?
Okay. Actually, I have been relaxing. I probably don't need to be, but I have been. So I've been going to work, and I came into 2021 with a balanced mindset of just being balanced, not taking on people's problems, not allowing people to dump their stuff on me, not just accepting everything. So I needed a clear mind to focus in on me. So this year is about me. And, my thought process was, if you didn't get it from me, you will not. And it probably sounds very selfish, but I think that sometimes you have to be selfish in order to get the things that you need for yourself. And it's called self-care. So that's where I'm at with that. And that's where I'm at. And I mean, maybe I'll jumpstart, or maybe I'll just appreciate the fact that I can just smell the roses and appreciate the roses and appreciate the flowers, because I don't think that many years ago that I've been able to do that. I'm always doing things for other people. So this year is my year of just actually enjoying what I see and what I feel is going on around me. So I'm super stoked about that. Yes. Super excited about that. So, but we do want to welcome everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to the chat. Please, if you will, please go ahead and share like and share the page. We want to get as many people on so that you all can have an opportunity to voice your opinions, your thoughts, concerns, whatever it may be, with our on our topics that we speak about. Put in the comments where you are tuning in from, so we will know where you all are coming from, and we're ready to get started.
Right. Who's gonna kick us off?
That's right. Like and share, everybody. Like and share.
Yeah, like and share. Hey, everybody. Who's gonna kick us off? I could start. I mean, it's 2021. Biden's about to become the president.
Yes, he is.
A lot of things are coming through, but the main thing people want to know is, where is their stimulus check, or as the internet likes to call it, the stimmy. So I would like to know what everyone wants to do with it. And honestly, if you think it was the right decision for Biden to add on another amount so that I could get up to 2,000.
Absolutely. And
I'm
more
trying to figure out where my stimmy is.
You haven't got it? A lot of people still haven't gotten it. I was late getting mine, but I did finally get it. And guess who told me that I got it?
I want to believe that we're not getting one, and I've just set my mind to believe that we're just not getting it. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. Okay.
Wait, Will, don't tell me that somebody in your family got your check and then called you about it.
My spouse was checking to see if I got my check and called me to tell me that it was there. I'm like, well, how do you get my information? But okay.
Right.
I'm looking at the RFI and tell me that my stuff was in there. But okay. All right.
If I want somebody to tell me mine's in the mailbox.
If I do happen to get it, I mean, I think I am wanting to just save it. I'm wanting to save it. I mean, I don't feel the need or the desire to go out and unnecessarily spend that money. It's not necessary. And it was so many people who misuse those funds. And then it's amazing to me, the people that are like, we need that money. And I'm like, it's okay. The mean part of me is saying, the mean part of me, not really the mean part, but I'm just like, I really hope. Okay, never mind.
You really hope what?
Okay, I mean,
they use their funds wisely. How about that? Okay.
Right. I think for me, I definitely, with a newborn, I mean, unfortunately, it's going to go to taking care of her. But other than that, it's helped me. I mean, just the small amount. I started writing scripts recently, and it helped me have some extra money to submit those scripts into competitions, because those are expensive, honestly.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Amir. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to do exactly what they want us to do. It's happening to the economy.
That's right.
Maybe
might as well treat
that's why it hasn't hit yet, because I'm going to the store.
You going shopping?
Yeah.
Okay, look, just give me a call. Let me know when we're going.
Oh, hey.
For real.
No problem.
Hopefully the world is going to open back up in 2021. And because 2020, there was really no need to go shopping. I don't think I did hardly any shopping in 2020. Right. Couldn't go anywhere. But 2021, my big birthday this year. So I'm definitely going shopping.
Oh, your big birthday? What are you going to do?
We're going to, I believe he said we're going to Cozumel.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm planning for the whole month of May. So stay tuned. It's going to be big.
Oh, wow. Anybody out there, what are you guys doing? Chime in, put it in the chat. What are you going to do with your stimulus?
Yes.
I seen somebody on Facebook, which I thought was so funny. And he said something like, well, why do he was like, I'm insulted that you even think that I'm getting a stimulus check. Why is it that you don't think that I make enough money where I don't get a stimulus check? And I was like,
yeah, if you want to flex, I mean, I guess.
Hello.
Hey.
I want my
run me my money. Yeah.
And we deserve more than
run my money.
We do.
So I'm just thinking, like, first, give us the stimulus, whatever. But what about reparations? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that anything that anyone wants to do, just spend it. Whatever you want to use it for, save it, spend it. However it can help you out, at least you're getting something. But I think that we deserve more. I mean, our country, they pretend that we're the richest country in the world. It's like, man. They're not giving us nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel that way. Lord knows I do.
And we have some comments. Let's go back a little bit. Rosalind says, well, she was referencing me. When she said y'all make too much money. I'm beginning to believe it. Let's see. What are your plans for your stimulus check? Marlene says that she's enjoying the show from Prosper, Texas. And then Chris, I hope I am saying that right, says I pay payroll. So you got to do what you got to do. And I'm hoping, what I honestly hope is that it's extra for people and not that I just had to find a better way of saying what I was going to say. That it is actually extra and not that people are really in need of that $600, although I know that people are definitely in need of that $600 to $2,000 that we are needing. But I really hope that if there's more people who it becomes extra for, then really in need of that money. So anyway, moving on.
I'll go. Okay, so this is the topic that we were talking about, I believe 2 seasons ago. So it's about polyamorous relationships. So this is the article that I read. They said they were having a deep conversation with a friend of theirs about a guy who they're dating who's always cheating. Basically, they have a wandering eye. And she says that, she had caught the guy with about 5 or 6 women, and she was in love. She wasn't willing to leave the relationship. So she suggested to the woman, why don't you guys just have an agreement where it's an open relationship, all of y'all are in a relationship, and this way it's not cheating. Everything is understood. The difference between infidelity and polyamory is that one is open and honest. With polyamory, no one is hiding or cheating. Everyone is aware of the situation and has agreed to the relationship. I want to know, if you were in a relationship and whoever you were with just couldn't get it together, they were all cheating or whatever, would you be open to having a polyamorous relationship?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
Nope.
Why not?
Nope. I just can't do it. I'm not sharing like that. And speaking as a woman, I don't care what they say. Any woman that's in that situation, they don't want to be in that situation. We want to be the chosen one. We want to be first. They're settling for that situation. I'm not having it. I cannot do it. Nope.
So yeah, for me, it's interesting. Just the way the story's framed, for me, the first thing is if they were already cheating, right? And then you try and go, oh, well, we could just have an open relationship. I say, not with the same person. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, I mean, now in the future, maybe if you were like, well, now that I've heard about polyamory, but if that person was cheating on me the whole time, and then they're like, well, why don't we just have an open relationship? Then you'll know who I'm with. That's a no for me, no question.
I mean, but I think it's polyamory. That's
all y'all together.
Right. That's the whole purpose. And I do think, like, it's a couple. I don't follow them, but every now and again I see their videos that they post. And as he said, everybody, the guys, he says everybody has to be mature about it. And I think that's what comes with it. Like, it's not for everybody. That lifestyle is not for everybody. I think that the unfortunate thing is there are a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who are in 2 different relationships, and side chicks are not side chicks anymore. Like, it's like a full-blown relationship. Like, he's been in this relationship as long as he's been in the relationship with you. Like, so he's carrying on 2 different relationships, but he's been in both of them 10 years. Like, and really, like it just doesn't make any sense. And then you get mad, but neither one of y'all are willing to let him go. Nobody's willing to let him go because of the mere fact that, it's just, there's so many other things that play into that, which will go into my topic in just a second. But I think that people want to be respected. I think a lot of times things don't go down that way because people don't open up their mouths and say it, and then you become a product of someone's cheating on you. But if the situation was where I could openly come to you and talk to you about things, then maybe that's a conversation that would have been had anyway. And, but I don't think that people always leave doors open for those real conversations to be had. For me to make the decision on whether or not, one, I want you cheating on me, or two, that I want to be in a polyamorous relationship. And how do you know? I may agree to it. I may agree to it, but if you never give me the opportunity to do one way or the other, but I think it's everything always goes back to me about conversations. I think people just want to be, they just want to be respected and know that, like you shared this with me, you shared this thought with me. And, but I mean, I would say yes.
I feel like the only relationships of polyamory that work are when both sides have that mindset before things come together. Because I just feel like if I'm with a man or a woman is with a man and we are assumed to be monogamous, and then we transition into polyamory because he's stepping out or the woman is stepping out, that other person is really compromising. They don't want that.
Right. And to what Tim Ben there is saying about how we need to have a distinction between polyamory and open relationships, is that open relationship, that sounds like that agreement you make after the fact, right? Like, how about we open our relationship to other people, entering, but the key is that they're still within that relationship between them and they're the main people. So there are still things as like side chicks and whatnot, but when it's a polyamory, that should be communicated early. I grew up Muslim, and by the Quran, I'm allowed to have 4 wives, but I know my wife isn't about that life. So it's no question.
But again, polyamory is people that everybody is in agreement. Everybody, we're in this, and we're sharing the same space.
Same space. Exactly. That's it.
We're in the same space. We're sharing the same home. Where we have children. Everybody is in the same space. Mm-hmm. So and I think that if that, of course, that lifestyle is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think that, again, like I said, there's more people out here who are being cheated on.
Exactly.
And knowingly or unknowingly, and still stay in those situations.
Exactly.
I think in those situations, the woman, especially if she's the one being cheated on, it is like out of sight, out of mind. Like when that man is home and he's with her, she kind of feels a little comfort within that. And then she go into that other mindset when he leaves. So I think in that situation, when they're cheated on, they still, even though they'll stay in that relationship, even though he's cheating, that person still may not agree to polyamory.
No, and they may not. But my thing is, they may not agree to it, but knowingly or unknowingly, you are agreeing to be cheated on, because whether your mindset is in it or not in it, whether you switch on or switch off, it's like, okay, when he or she is not here, they may or may not be cheating on me, but it's still part of you that's agreeing to be.
Yeah. In other words, you're making a choice to be in that relationship.
Right. And so
they're seeing other people. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, so if this is what you're going to continue to do, okay, let's talk about this. Like, let's talk about this. Like, do you want to be in an open relationship? Do you want to be in a polyamory relationship? Do you want to be, because, it doesn't, knowingly or unknowingly, it doesn't make it right if it's not something that you are agreeing to. And again, like I said, there's plenty of people out here that I know of that are knowingly and unknowingly being cheated on.
Yeah. That's true. And you're right. If they stay in a situation, then they're essentially accepting a role.
Right. And it's like, okay, as long as you're here with me, as long as you're, helping me raise the children or whatever the case may be, I don't really care. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it right. And I actually wonder about women, like, why, which, takes me to my topic, which takes me to Jamal Bryant and Giselle Bryant from the Real Housewives of Potomac.
I love some Jamal Bryant.
Okay, so you love you some Jamal Bryant, but he ain't right.
I know he's not right.
He the pastor of the church, but then he got all these extra marital, allegedly, Will.
Now, hold on, because Jamal said that he was not married when he was dating this young lady, as he calls her. He said, and that's what single people do. Single people date.
Right.
Exactly. But you know what Giselle was saying? We're good. We're good. And she was like, they were dating. That's what they were doing. They were dating with the intent to get back together. So with that being said, my question is this. And she made a statement. I read the statement, and she was saying that she didn't see herself with anybody else but him. That she saw her raising her family and her children with him.
And this is Giselle.
Giselle, yes.
Okay.
So my question is, do we, as you said, set aside? Do people just set aside all the wrongdoing? Because initially you got a divorce from him because it was infidelity. So you're willing to take him back, knowing his character, just because you want him to be there to help you raise up the children.
All grown kids.
Right. And we know that's not it.
We know it's not it.
Yeah.
We know that. You're right, Amir. Yep.
Because it's selfish. I mean, the kids are one thing, but I'm sure if we ask the kids how they feel, it's all like, man, he did that to my mama.
And you're right about that. You're right about that, Amir, because on an episode of Potomac, Housewives of Potomac, one of her oldest daughter was like giving him the side eye when they were at dinner. Like, why are we even here?
Why are you here? Exactly.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Because Lakia said people change.
I mean,
Lakia said
maybe, but Giselle and Jamal had been divorced like 12 years.
Yes. And he has a 5-year-old son.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He has a 5-year-old son. Yes.
Well, maybe he's changed in 5 years.
Okay.
I think that it's likely he may have changed in their personal relationship. Maybe before he wasn't taking her on the dates that she wanted him to. And then now he's changed, right? I mean, whatever that selfish reason is, maybe he listens to her more. Like, now that I don't have to hide things because she knows that I've been cheating on her. So now he's more honest and forthright with her. And that's all she really wanted, regardless of what he's doing outside of the relationship.
And perhaps that's the case, that they do have a better relationship because he can be open. Right.
Yeah. What do you think?
So I don't know. So is the situation that because I watched the 3-part reunion.
Yeah.
That was actually my first time watching it, and I was just hooked from that.
I knew it.
And I saw her when she was saying, their little relationship, they were trying to challenge her or whatever. So she said that was her vision of what was going on. Did he ever say that was it? Because they were trying to say, that, he was doing X, Y, Z. But did he ever admit that, they were in the active process of trying to rectify the relationship? Because two people could be in the same relationship with two different ideas of what's going on.
Thank you. And
I don't remember him saying that exactly. Do you, Shanika?
No, he did a 20-minute intervention on himself about what he didn't do. He was saying that the young lady who brought the binder, like basically her husband was lying and all this. But how you gonna read a whole phone number and then ask Giselle, is that your husband's number? And she's like, well, yeah, that is his number.
Yeah.
What is she gonna say, right?
Right. Oh, look, and then
that's the number.
Yeah, look
at this is when Juicy Temple Anderson said he got a 3-month-old too. So where he changing that? Seems like he might be changing underwear. I don't know if he changing who he is.
Wait a minute. Who has a 3-month-old?
She said Jamal has a 3-month-old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could Google.
Oh Lord, it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, I totally believe Temple there. No questions asked. He probably does, right?
Wow. So she needs to be in a polyamorous relationship.
Right, because but my thing is, when does your morals and values kick in? But I think that again, he's a pastor at the New Birth, which what you call it came from, and you know how that was. You know how that ended. What's his name?
Eddie Long.
Yeah.
Bishop Eddie Long.
Oh, yeah. I think one thing though with the polyamory is that it really, I think some people are disingenuous. Like they like the way it sounds, so they're like, "Oh yeah, let's do polyamory." And they, I mean, some people, because if they're not living together, like you said earlier, Shanika, if they're not all living together as a communal family unit, then I just doubt that a man is able or a woman is able to keep up that many full-blown relationships. Because it's hard enough with just one person. Now imagine managing 2 or 3 people in different
I've seen
locations.
it happen successfully.
Right, it's difficult, but
It's
a
difficult, yeah.
full-blown relationship, and then try and call it polyamory, it's just like it's not really the same thing.
Right.
No.
Right. All right. So we did have a couple of people. Her Fabian said, "Is that how you pronounce her name?"
Fabian.
Fabian. Okay. Thank you. Her kids did not support the relationship. They did not. Erica says, "Your word, it is really worth your peace of mind." Absolutely. Dorothy says, "Once a cheater, always a cheater." Asia says, "People can change, but I feel like once a cheater, always a cheater." Lakia says, y'all leave my man alone. He's off limits." That's not loud. Amy says, "Do people really change?" I think not, but my mom has always said that. Temple says, "Yes," and he has the 3-month-old as well. And then Monique is laugh out loud. It's a very sticky situation for me, and I just think that you have to be mature enough to handle whatever it is that you are going to allow to happen in your relationship. And outside, it is not for outside people to determine. So whether you want to be monogamous, whether you want to be in a polyamory relationship, whether you want to be in an open relationship, that is between you and the people that are involved in that situation. And I just feel like you just don't allow outside people to come in and dictate and determine what will happen in your relationship and what they feel like it should or should not be, because every situation and everybody is different. And if you're mature enough to handle that, and people also need to understand that even though you are in a polyamory relationship, it does not necessarily mean that if it's a man and 2 women, that those 2 women are being intimate either. It's just like they both just have a relationship with them. So there's different levels of it. So, or if it's a woman and 2 men, it does not mean that those 2 men are being intimate either. So there's 2 levels. So you just have to understand and be, if that's what you want in your relationship, then do what you do how you feel you want to do. But yeah, so but Jamal and Giselle, I feel sorry for her in a way. I really do feel sorry for her. But that's what I was gonna say, and then we'll move on. That what about his morals and values as a pastor? Because I feel like even with your family, but that to me, you leading a flock of people and your behavior does not it does not set forth the right image for you as a pastor, your behavior. So whether you're in a marriage or not in a marriage, having all these outside relationships or marriage or children, like it doesn't look good for the image. So, but anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. As a pastor, there are certain things that a certain walk he should walk. Yeah.
Right.
Well, when keeping with relationships, our Tasha, our Naturi Naughton, has recently got engaged, and she's decided to keep her fiance a secret until after the wedding. So, I mean, what do we feel about that? I mean, I know that a lot of people don't like to put their relationships out on social media. You have a lot of women who want to be posted or spoken of on their mate's social media. Is that really protective in nature, or does it expose some insecurities about people knowing who you're with and what you're doing? What do you think?
Well, based on what happened to Lori Harvey, it might be smart to keep some things private. But but getting married is a little different. I mean, it's kind of like, what are we playing, masked wedding? She's gonna unveil the groom at the wedding altar, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, it's him."
Yeah, I just felt like that was, we're not dating anymore. We're actually engaged, so technically, it's in the bag, kinda. Yeah.
Well, what did you say? What were you saying, Will? What were you saying?
No, I was saying, so is because there's a difference between, being discreet and being secret. So nobody knows who this is, or she's just not constantly.
Well, she said in an interview, if you are around, meaning if you're in her intimate circle, then if you've seen them out, then you have an idea.
Okay, I like that.
I think I do too. Because to be honest, I know a young lady who recently was married. Recently, I mean, and now I think she's probably about 7 months pregnant, and she has not. She said, "I'm married, I'm pregnant," but she has not posted her husband on social media, and she was just like, "I don't feel the need to do that. I don't need people to know who he is, or or whatever the case may be." And even the young lady, if you all remember Mimi, she's big on social media, does the nails, Asian young lady, and now she's dating. She was married, and now she's dating another guy, and she doesn't really put him on camera either. And she was basically saying that she didn't want that relationship to be the same as the relationship that she had with her husband. She wanted to kind of keep him a secret. So you might see like a profile of him, or off distance, but it's never in his face. The camera's never in his face. It's never like his face is really not always being shown. So I just think that relationships, period, to me, don't always need to be advertised on social media. And just as Jennifer just said, not posting on social media isn't the same as keeping secrets from your family or from anybody. Maybe you're just a private person and your relationship is like not aired on social media. Like for us, for instance, we took Christmas pictures in our pajamas. I felt funny, and it was a family picture, because it's not very often that all three of us are in a picture that I'm posting on social media. Like for a long time, I used to think that people probably think I'm lying when I talk about my husband because they don't ever see him. But but he exists, but it's not everybody's business who my husband is. And or what we're doing in our relationship, or even inside of my home. Like I also remember we were putting up Christmas lights, and that was like, it was so many people, because people are nosy. It was so many people who came in on that live because they wanted to see the inside of my house.
Oh,
People
wow.
people want to see what you got going on inside your house. So people are nosy. So
Well, people are nosy.
yes. So anything of your life that you can share with people, they're going to be all about it, seeing what, and they bypassed you. They're looking behind you to see, like, what kind of book is that? What's on your
what does Drake look like?
So then let me ask you this. What is the purpose of social media? If it's not to share with loved ones, if it's not to show how you're living, what's the purpose of social media? We're not on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. When I thought the purpose was for when you can't get to your loved one in California, for you to be able to share what's going on in your life. Where's that line at to where it's appropriate for social media and then you're going beyond what is necessary?
I think it's when you're going beyond what's necessary is when you're portraying something that really doesn't fit the script. Like if you're putting stuff out there that does not illustrate your true life, then that is when it's being used for something different.
Okay.
I agree. I think it's really more to say where the line crosses. I mean, she's famous, but I mean, for me, I share stuff, but my wife doesn't necessarily want to do that. She'll share the nicest photos that we take, professional photos, because she sees it as more like, a scrapbook. Like, you put your favorite photos in there, but this one's public. Like you don't want to just put the silly photo you took. You want to put the professional photos with the family and the baby. But I agree to an extent. I think that you should share it, but a lot of people just share their best moments, and it's weird when you see a couple fight on social media.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's real life. I mean, I don't like to see that, but then again, I look sideways at when I always see everything, touched up, if you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so you asked the question, what is social media for? I mean, we've talked about this before, and as far as just how Justin feels about posting, and then how you feel about posting as a couple. So how do you feel like do you care whether you and Justin's picture are posted, or does Justin, like, which one of you are more of a poster of you all as a couple?
I think we both have the same understanding of social media. Prior to me getting married, I really rarely posted about my relationship. And when my former relationship, if you weren't in my social, circle, you really didn't know who you was. Right. But me getting married was actually something that was liberating for myself. So I mean, I'm listed as married on social media. I'm even tagged to the person I'm married to. But we're still, in being that public, we're still very private what goes on in our house. So you see a very choice of what I want you to see.
Right.
Basically.
And
anything
anything
that's seen has been reviewed a couple times. We both agreed on it, and we said it might look like it just happened, but trust me, there's been a conversation about, do you mind if I put this out?
Right. Okay. Yeah,
and I think that's what I like. That's the angle that I would probably take.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I would share who I'm with, but keep, elements of the relationship, in the closet. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I mean, with her, just to I mean, I couldn't imagine if I had to worry about people coming on the blogs and talking about our relationship when I'm engaged, but I think it's the way it's phrased, like, oh, I'm keeping this a secret from social media. And it just seems like now everybody wants to know, right? She might have just pled the fifth, right?
And then it always makes me wonder, like, who is it? Like, is it somebody who's known for something maybe not so good, or maybe known, or just been in the media? That maybe is the reason why she's keeping it. She's keeping closed lips on it or whatever. But I think you have a right. Social media or not social media, I think that you have a right to disclose to people what you want to disclose to people. And good, bad, or indifferent, that's your choice. And I don't think that it's anybody's business on how you and what you put out there. Even if you put him up there next to you and got a whole heart over his face, nobody, and he's just a body. All you see is his body and no face. I mean, that's your business. That's your business. And people are just nosy. People are just nosy, and they just want to know every aspect of everybody's life. And I'm with her. If you're not in my circle, then you won't know the real deal unless I share it with you. But we do have some comments, so let's get to those. Amy says, I agree with you, Shanika. Jennifer says, amen. Asia says, some people truly do value privacy within their relationships because posting, in my eyes, doesn't define your relationship. However, I do think people should keep who they're with a secret, but that doesn't necessarily mean posting them. Belinda says, why keep it a secret? I want people to know who I am dating, and vice versa, not necessarily on social media. Erica says, relationships are already hard enough, then add the public scrutiny to it. Jennifer, seems like a lot of people just use social media for attention, validation. I agree with that. Again, Asia says, social media is used to post or share whatever it is you feel comfortable sharing with others. And then Summer says, who are we talking about? And then Chanel can tell you that. And then Jennifer says, people are nosy, and that's why it's more fun to keep them guessing. And there you have it. So we
were talking about Naturi Naughton from Power. Where she's Tasha from Power. But I don't know. I think she just should have did a Niecy Nash and put it out after the wedding.
Yes, because Mia will.
I mean, because celebrities have to understand that some of the actions that they do, it puts them in a situation where they're going to get more backlash. I mean, so putting it out here as a phantom person is actually doing what she didn't want it to do in the beginning. She should have just did Niecy Nash.
Exactly.
And said, hey, y'all, look at my husband.
There's been plenty of celebrity marriages that I had no idea. I'm like, they were dating? Like, no question.
Yeah. So then, wait a minute. So did she refer to him as a he? I mean, did she refer to the person as a he? Or did she just say, I'm not revealing?
She never did. She said fiance. Oh.
Interesting. Maybe it's someone from her show.
Okay.
Okay.
See, now, Shanika, you got my mind turned.
All right, can I ask y'all a question?
Yes.
We were talking about it in the shop, and how can I phrase it? And then Justin and I actually had a conversation, kind of heated conversation about it. I want to know, can you truly be in can you truly have unconditional love in a relationship? Now think about how everybody's always throwing the word around. I love you unconditionally. No conditions on the love in a relationship. Can you truly have unconditional love in a relationship? I say hell no. I don't think you can.
I agree.
I can love you unconditionally, but there are certain conditions that if they're crossed, we're just not going to be together. I'm not going to love you from across the street.
There is no such thing as unconditional love. No.
I
agree. So many people in the shop said that there is.
Now, me and Shanika seem to disagree. I'll use your example, Will. You said if something happened, I'll love you from across the street. That love is still there because that's the unconditional part. So I'd say that we just have to acknowledge there can't be unconditional love without there being conditional love. So there are conditions. We love each other and we're doing these things together and you're building me up or whatnot. But then there's the unconditional, that feeling where you're just like, man, I don't even know, but when I see you, I just want to be around you.
Right.
Kind of, I think that's where the unconditional part comes in.
I can jive with that because, again, going back to Jamal and Giselle, and she had made a point to say that she was watching a podcast or something between Shawnee and Evelyn Lozado, and she was saying that they both were saying if they were to get locked up, they both would call their exes. And she was like, that's how I feel. I feel like if I were to get locked up, I'm going to call Jamal to come get me out. And so I asked my husband, I said, if we weren't together and I called you as my ex-husband, would you come get me out of jail? But the funny thing is I would call him. And I think that he will come get me, not because we are in a relationship, but because he still loves me and I'm the mother of his child. So I just feel like that's what, and I think that even with Giselle, like you got that confused. You have that confused. Like he may come get you out because you are the mother of his children, but that does not mean that he loves you. Like or wants to be with you. So let me not say it wants to be with you. So I think that yes, like Amir said, I think that people set out with the intentions to have unconditional love, but then something happens and then it becomes conditional.
Right.
But I think that the idea is for it to be unconditional. No matter what, and then and you know that because even when people staying in relationships even after some bullshit didn't happen, it's like I'm
for that.
There could be manipulation too. What do you think?
Manipulation, low self-esteem,
or comfort, or comfort, because love could be lost, but I could be real comfortable.
Exactly.
You can, but there's many. There's.
Maybe I haven't had any of those type of relationships.
I'd say it's like the conditional is like the tit for tat. Like anytime you do something wrong and that person's like, oh, see, I done cleaned your clothes and I took you to Walmart every other Saturday and now you do this, and then it's just like, what's going on? I think those kind of thoughts can lead to that conditional love where they're always clocking you. They know everything they did for you and they're waiting for you to do the same for them.
Well, I just feel like we all are human, and at the end of the day, you can nick away at that love, and it's gonna fade. Eventually, it's gonna fade. After a while, these little nuances and these things that I constantly forgive and overlook. Look, I haven't had those relationships where I would call anybody say come get me. Because I don't have that unconditional love. It's gone. I don't know. I think when people say that they have that unconditional love, like when you say like Giselle said she would call Jamal, I think she has a codependency.
Yeah,
that's why she wanted to have this facade of a relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not that she has unconditional love for him. It's that she can't get rid of him.
Yes, and I think he did a number on her because like some of the stuff that she's just like she's just oblivious to. Like it's just like you divorced him because of infidelity, but you will take him back despite his infidelity. But then why did you divorce him? Like why did you do? You should stay with him and just let the infidelity keep going. And because it's just crazy, because then it leaves the door open for people to look at her and say, is she battling, which is also what I wanted, which was part of my question. Like, is it low self-esteem? Is it codependency?
Hands down, it's low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Now I have a question for everybody, even in the chat. What are some healthy conditions for love, to love somebody, that you may set for somebody else?
Healthy conditions?
Mm-hmm.
Abuse.
No.
Free from abuse of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Of any kind.
In situations where I have seen people talk about having unconditional love, it is always the serial cheater. It is always, I've been with you through all of these affairs, and you're saying that's unconditional love. But like you said, Chanel, no, that's low self-esteem. You're not understanding your self-worth, that you don't have, you're worth much more than being somebody's option. I've seen people stay for abuse. Again, I think that's low self-esteem, being afraid to leave. Yeah. Sometimes the situations where people are comfortable, just like you said, Chanel. The only time I see where the real sense of unconditional love, no matter what you do, I'm here, is if that person came out of you, if that's your child. That's the only time. Any other person to come in your life, yeah, but there are certain things, cheat on me once, maybe 2 times, but 3 times you out the door. And I can love you from you being in somebody else's house and their relationship with them. Certain things, like she said, boundaries. There's certain things that you can't do with me. I can still love with you and not be with you.
So I think it's important. Oh, go ahead, Shanika.
Well, I was getting ready to say, but once you start putting all these conditions on things, like as long as you're this, then I'm loving you. As long as you're this, I'm loving you. Like, so is it a real relationship? Like, is it real, or is it just for as long as you're doing X, Y, and Z for me, I'm loving you. But the minute that you don't, or the minute that you aren't, I'm no longer loving you. That just gave me a whole different thought perspective.
But those aren't things that you talk about. You don't go in a relationship having to say to somebody, "Don't cheat on me." That's expected.
Right.
Don't put your hands on me. That's expected.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that is the interesting.
You should come to a relationship already knowing, fool, don't do that.
Right. And
I don't know. Some women like a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
As evidenced by them not leaving.
Exactly. Until it's time to leave, but you need to know when that is.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have some comments. Let's catch up, Shanika.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I just kind of got okay, so Monique says it's about the money with Giselle. Jennifer says it's possible to love someone. It's possible to love someone and still set healthy boundaries. Absolutely. Sakina says it's much easier to stay than leave. And I actually want to come back to that. Walter says, I'll come and bail you out, honey. I know. Sakina says, but once you leave, it's when the clarity hit. Yes. Say your wife's name again. Fabian. Okay. You can have a bond and love someone, but that's not enough to sustain a healthy relationship. Exactly. Jennifer, no cheating for one. Rosalind says there is such a thing as unconditional love. I know, and that's all I'm going to say. Dorothy says you shouldn't have to put conditions on love. Either it's there or it's not. Right, I think that's the point that I was trying to make. Because if you start putting all these conditions on things, like, things are going to happen. And like you said, Will, of course you shouldn't be expected to be cheated on. You shouldn't be expected to be hit on. You shouldn't be expected to be verbally abused or physically abused or any of these other things. But if we start to put conditions, it's like, oh, you didn't, like, I remember telling my husband earlier on in our marriage, like 6 months in, I was crying. He was like, do you want me to take you back home? And I was like, no. And so I told him, I was like, you have to start telling me no, because there's going to be a time that I may want something and we're not able to get it. And I may make you feel some kind of way, but you need to be able to tell me no, that it's not feasible for us to do that particular thing. And then, he ran with it after that. But anyway, but it's like, But if I held on to that, like, oh, you're not doing this for me, so I don't love you no more. I don't love you unless you buying and giving and all this stuff. Like, if you keep putting these conditions on there, where's the healthy in it? Where is it a relationship? Is it real? Are you just there because what? Like that's where I'm stuck right there.
Now I can consider having unconditional love per se if somebody have some real healthy, strong boundaries attached to those. Because you have to be able, if you're going to love someone unconditionally, set boundaries with them. Because the other side of that is you love someone unconditionally and you keep giving of yourself. And to me, that is a person who needs some transformation, Will.
Hey.
Okay? Because I'm trying to figure out how long you going to love this person unconditionally while they do A, B, C through Z.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So unconditional love, in my opinion, does not stand in the same line with self-love, esteem, having healthy boundaries, setting expectations for how other people are going to treat you. They don't line up with unconditional love to me.
Exactly. That's how I see it as well. Let's see. Shanika, can you read Summer Child's?
Yes. Okay. So y'all know what first part says.
My screen is on 6 and I can't see that far. So
okay, it says, in this day and age, you have to have the conversation about what are deal breakers for you in a relationship. What may be a deal breaker for you may not be a deal breaker for for the other person.
Exactly. I think that's what I wanted to convey. There are certain deal breakers, and then I want you to. It's not like you turn the love off. I'm correlating loving you and being in a relationship with you. Right. I still love my ex, but because of certain behaviors, we're no longer together. So I'm loving you from another state.
Okay.
So the love is still there, but my presence isn't, if that makes sense.
Right. So that person can't call you and ask you for favors. You're not going to show up. You're not going to bail them out of jail. You're loving them from over here.
See?
Yeah, see, even okay, so that's still different. I mean, like if my husband was my ex, and I told him this, if we were to split up and he got sick, I'm gonna take care of him. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like because like I don't want to. I mean, if he was dating somebody, she gotta go. Like I don't trust that. I don't trust you taking care of him. I just don't. I don't.
Real loud. Helen up in here.
That's unconditional.
I don't trust it. I don't trust. No, I don't. I would not. And I feel like that's because that's my daughter's father. Like I'm not leaving that in the hands of somebody that you was dating. I don't care what you gave her. She need to care her ass. And whatever we got to give her to care her ass, she need to go. But I'm gonna take care of him. His ex and all. He will be in my house. I'll be in his house or whatever, and I'm taking care of him.
Well, I think that's a testament to the relationship that you built, and also how well he treated you. Yeah. I think that's a testament to that. Mm-hmm. I don't have an ex that I would do that.
You guys remember Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
That's what I said. She Helen. Shanika's Helen.
Oh no. I think
real live.
Yeah.
He don't treat me like that. He don't treat me like that.
Oh, it's God. A new life, babe.
But I think it's still there. After all of that, her love was so unconditional.
Right. But she's separated. It's like I love you and I'm going to take care of you, but know that this is not. You know the love. I felt the unconditional love. You put conditions on our love because you stepped out on me. You made me have a miscarriage. You did all this stuff. You rationing out things to me. So that was the condition. And then she just gave it back to him. She just gave it back to.
I think. Yeah, I think it's also important to talk about like when you say that you love them from afar. If they're an ex, that could mean love from a religious standpoint, like God's love. Like I love you. I don't wish you harm.
Brotherly love.
I don't wish you harm, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're not about to do nothing for them. If they called you and said, "It's 3 a.m., my tires popped. I'm on the other side of town, and you're like, yeah, I mean, I hope you do. I hope you figure that out. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. But I feel like, that's when the love isn't really there. It's not unconditional. The love is gone. Earth, Wind, and Fire. After the love is gone, right?
So do I have unhealthy love for my exes, then, Shanika? That's my question. Because if my ex did call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would get up and do it.
No,
Actually, in fact, my husband and I would get up and we would go do it.
right, but I think that's the friendship that you built outside of that. Now, like outside of my husband, I can't look and say, like there's no other person that I would be like, you could come and I'm gonna take care of you if you fall ill. There's nobody else I can say that. But I have friends that okay, if you need a ride and I see you on the side of the road, I mean, I'm not gonna, I could call somebody for you, but I'm not going to extend this major, I'm not gonna do a whole bunch. I'll help you out. But my husband is I'm sorry. I cannot allow that to be left in somebody else's hands, because I just feel like, not exes, but new people come in and it's like, no, like you could be mistreating him. You could be like, no, he could be in there with bed sores. I mean, I've seen that kind of stuff happen. Like, no, I'm not allowing that. I'm just not. I know him.
I love that about you. I think I need to go sit on the couch. Because I ain't even answering the phone.
But I think it speaks to the past relationship. That's also, I mean, for me, with my wife now, that's different than my exes. Like, and honestly, I guess did I ever consider that unconditional love back when I was in those past relationships? And I don't think the answer is yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just feel like me and my husband, I just feel like we've built, 25 years, and I just don't, whether even like I said, no matter what the circumstance was that we split up, good, bad, or indifferent, I would like to think that if I fell ill, that he would take care of me. Whether he was with somebody, I don't care if he was married to somebody else. I need you to take me in your house. I need you to
put your husband, your new husband out.
But okay, so let me clear that up. I would never get married after my husband. I would never.
But you gonna put his new girlfriend out.
I need him to take me in. I don't know what you got. Like I said, I don't know what kind of shoes, bag, whatever you got to buy. I don't know whatever you got to do for her. But
I love it.
I need you to, But I mean, I would take care of him, and I'm not speaking to him, but I would take care of him if he were to fall ill and we were not together. I would take care of him.
Okay. All right, then. That's a wrap.
That was fun.
Thank you. How'd y'all feel? How'd you feel about the show, y'all?
I have too much fun with y'all.
Yeah, I think it was good. I do definitely understand now, Will, about timing and everything like that. Because I was like, oh, yeah, I guess we couldn't get to everything in that amount of time.
Yeah. But you know what? We want to thank all of our guests for tuning in. I had people who messaged me that's what I was busy reading. I couldn't find their comments, so they were screenshotting me on our list. So I had to figure out what's going on. But someone actually went through the polyamory relationship and she was explaining it. But I don't see it anywhere to bring on the screen. But yeah, we had somebody who was in their situation. Let me see if I can read it real quick.
If that's the case, maybe we can close on polyamory and let them share next week.
Yeah. He said he came home from the moment, and I was going to call it Ben, but I don't want to comment on this. We met and married just after 4 months, and although we were supposed to be together. However, my sex drive was and always has been 3 times higher than his. I actually introduced the idea to him over the course of our lives and that lifestyle. I handpicked his four mistresses twice, and he still cheated. It's been 23 years. We're happy, prosperous, and that doesn't mean I haven't taken care of myself over the years, but I wasn't going to pretend either. Okay.
Oh, so she's still with her?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We had 3 rules.
That's amazing.
We had 3 rules: no disrespect, no babies, no diseases. We were also in the swinging life by then too.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Like it just has to be. I think it's definitely a mature decision on both parties, and and there's like she said, the rules and the boundaries that have to be set for that thing. I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think that, don't go out here and just be having these, thinking that you in a polyamory relationship or open relationship, thinking this is great for you just to keep somebody. I don't think that's healthy. I think that it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had, and all parties need to agree upon what will happen in that relationship. But I have enjoyed you all so much.
Yes.
It was
Thank
really
you. It's great.
Make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday. The shows are normally on Monday, but for the first, how many is it, Shanika? The first two?
The first, and then the next, I'm sorry, what was your question?
Tuesday shows.
We have one more, and then in February.
So next week is Tuesday, right? Yeah.
And then it goes to Mondays.
Yes, starting in February, we'll go back to Monday.
All right.
Sounds good.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
You for tuning
Love
in.
you. And we'll see you next week.
Yes.